biggest difference between first half and second half?
Well, we turned it over in the first half. We'd steal it and then turn it over back to them. And I told them yesterday I didn't think we were ready to play. You know, we just we didn't have that bounce that we had before, and I thought we got that bounce back in the second half. And then the whole thing just kind of snowballs once we get it going. It just kind of snowballs.
Coach, when this team goes through offensive droughts, I know you've always preached you can still play defense. How happy are you with their ability to bull their way through that and continue to just play defense?
I wasn't very happy. Obviously, the first half they shoot 11 for 20 in the first half, and we gave them too many easy shots. But we turned it over. We turned it over 12 times, I think, in the first half, and we shouldn't turn it over 12 times in a game. Just dumb things, you know. It wasn't like we just threw the ball to them and made really bad decisions and bad passes. So we're going to turn it over some because we try to play a little faster, but not like that. I thought that was a big difference in the second half. We passed it better, and obviously we made some shots in the second half.
Coach, no one on this team has probably played together more than Gary and Juwan. Do you believe in a connection or chemistry kind of thing between, especially guards? And have you ever seen anything like that before, previously?
I think he's got a lot more confidence in Gary. Obviously, having played with him for this being the third year, and really playing against him in practice the other year. So they do have a lot of history. I think what it does is, he has enough confidence in Gary to give him the ball, and go rest a little bit, and so. When we're playing the way we're playing and playing as fast as well we're playing, it's nice that he can get off the ball and not have all the responsibilities on the ball. I think that's probably the biggest thing. And then defensively or offensively, Gary knows what he's doing as well. So we can run different things. We can make more adjustments with Wani and Gary on the floor, obviously, than I can with Tariq or Dax or JC, because they don't have the background knowledge that those guys have.
Your pressure defense really bothered them today. What about your pressure defense made it so effective?
It better bother everybody, or we're not very good. That's what we do. That's what I think we made a commitment at the beginning of the year that we were going to do this and do it regardless. And we weren't very good with it in the first half. I thought Buzz had a really good scheme. We turned them loose way too many times, and we did a better job. Coach Harrison wanted to do a couple things at halftime, change a couple things, and so he changed a couple things in the press at halftime, which really helped us. It's and I've said this many times. It's a cumulative effect. It's kind of like you walking down the street with somebody walking in your face the whole time. After a while, you just say, "Get the hell away from me," And that's kind of what it is.
It seemed like their zone gave you some trouble shooting in the first half, but you started warming up in the second half. Did you make the adjustments there? Or?
Buzz is a good coach. He's a good coach, and they do good things, and they had us scouted really well. But we didn't. Honestly, we didn't make any shots. Didn't make any shots and turn it over 12 times. You turn it over 12 times and a half, you're not going to score very many.
Coach, is it fair to say that Juwan playing more aggressive now offensively than what he was at the beginning of the year?
Well, I think he's playing with more confidence. That comes with making shots.
Does any of that have to do with his health?
I don't know. I think it has. I think it's probably got more to do with his conditioning than his health. Because he was out, he missed a bunch. He really missed a lot, and I think he's just now starting to round into the kind of shape he was in a year ago.
When you recruited these kids, and I'm speaking mostly the younger guys, was it to put together this type of team, or was it when you got them together and then you said, let's go ahead with this?
Mitch, Dax really committed a year before and went to prep school for a year. And we really liked JC, and I think what what kind of drew us to him to start with, he just got his hands on so many balls. You know, he just was constantly deflecting balls and stealing balls, and then, you know, you watch him a little more, and he's got good ball skills, and you watch him a little more, and he can make shots, and he's got toughness. You know, he comes from a great program that's had a long line of really good players, a lot of pros, you know, and so he's been around that culture. So, you know, we thought he was a great get, but I mean, I could lie to you, but you know, the truth is we were scrambling around trying to find the guys that we thought we could do something with, and you know, Jay-Sean was available, and you know, with all the contacts, you know, the great thing is having all the guys that I have on staff is they got great contacts. They've been around so long. We know everybody.
You've talked about it a few times this season about what it was like to play in the series as a player. Any different feeling coaching in the series?
Well, obviously they're going to get better. You know, obviously Buzz will do a great job, and they'll get better, and we're going to get better. So, you know, it was a big rival. I think it's something that could develop into a pretty good deal.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Williams was on his way.